Thanks for listening to Better Business, Better Life. I'm your host, Deborah Chantry-Taylor. We're going to do something a little bit fun now. This podcast, would you believe, has been going since 2020. It started off as a bit of a fun hobby, and now some 5 or 6 years later, we're 260 episodes in and still going strong. Each week I produce a new episode, but I thought it might be fun to bring back some of the old episodes and leave them just exactly as they were. So no tweaks, no edits. So there might be a little bit of poor quality in there, but at least you'll get to see and hear from some of the most amazing business people that I've spoken to over those 5 or 6 years. I really hope you enjoy the episodes, and don't forget, if you ever need any help, just reach out to me. I'm only an email away, deborah@businessaction.com.au or deborah@businessaction.co.nz. Better Business, Better Life, here to help. Thank you for joining us on Better Business, Better Life. Today I am here with Tony Falkenstein. Welcome, Tony.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thank
nice
you.
to be here.
Lovely to have you as one of our guests. Hey, look, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you're talking about today, which is about managing people issues. Big topic of mine that I'm very fond of. Before I get started, I'd just like to, I've got the full bio of Tony online, which you can have a look at. But Tony is a real passionate entrepreneur. He has started over 50 companies so far. He's been absolutely instrumental in terms of bringing into the education curriculum things like business and entrepreneurship. And he's also written this book, which is the ABC of Business. And it says, never hire a person who walks slowly. So we might cover a little bit more of that in our talk. Tony's also been married for 39 years to Heather and has got one daughter who's just returned from the UK. So a little bit of background. Tony, thank you. Before we get started, would you mind sharing with us one professional and one personal best that you have in your life?
Okay, one personal best. I've never been a great sportsman, but when I was 8, I won the beginners doubles at tennis.
Did you?
Right?
Yeah.
And I've been a passionate tennis player ever since. And I still play about 3 times a week.
Yep.
And I've never won a cup ever since for any sport and anything. But 2 years ago, I entered the nationals in my age group and I won.
Oh, wow.
And became runner-up in the doubles.
Well, that's fantastic.
So there was a fair few years between cups.
So 8 years, and we won't even go there with the second lot of years. Okay. Oh, that's really good. And what about professionally? What would you say is your professional best?
So professionally, I mean, if I just look in the last year, which has been a really interesting year, the COVID year, and we were just prior to March, we'd looked at an acquisition, a company called the Cylinder Guy, and then COVID came, and I sort of went all into myself and thought, oh, no, I won't go ahead with that. And then after thinking about it, I thought, well, hey, it doesn't really matter what happens when your hot water cylinder goes, you need a hot water cylinder.
Yep.
So it's really fairly recession proof. So we went ahead and did the acquisition, and it's all it's 30% ahead. We bought it September 1, we took over, and it's been 30% ahead since then.
Yeah, so, that's wonderful.
So very, very pleased with that acquisition.
Yeah, I can imagine. Great. So you said that in your bio that you started over 50 companies. They're obviously not all going now, but you've still got your fingers in quite a number of pies in terms of businesses that you work with, haven't you?
Yeah, probably a lot less. Probably big ones was Bartercard, big one. So I owned that for 15 years. Bureau, which is an office chair business.
Oh, yes.
I owned that for about 10 years. And several other smaller businesses. I mean, I suppose I started off, my very, very first company was a company called Vogue Personnel. So I was in the personnel business early on.
Ah, people.
And really I've just been, there've been some good ones and some bad ones.
Yep.
So I started a company when Swatch was first introduced in New Zealand, and I started a company called Z-Watch to compete. And we both launched on the same day.
Yeah.
I'd gone to Hong Kong, got similar copies, and I'd rung up their receptionist of the company that was importing them and found out all the information when they were launching, what the pricing was going to be, how many models, how many colors, guarantees, everything. So I thought, well, I can better than that. And so I did in every part of the mix. So in terms of product, we have more models, more colors. In terms of, we had a 2-year guarantee, they had a 1-year guarantee. They were $69, we were $49. We both promoted similar type lifestyle ads on TV. and they distributed it only through jeweler shops and department stores. And we went through pharmacies and department stores, and had much wider retail reach.
Yeah.
And so between September and December, we sold 27,000 watches to their 7,000. And unfortunately, the strap had got brittle, the plasticizer in the strap.
Oh, yeah.
And so when kids put them on Christmas Day, they went snapped immediately. And so it was an absolute disaster.
So how do you recover from that?
If I ever, look at my lifeline,
Yeah.
I'd say that would be the worst. That took me right down to zero.
Right.
Really, really tough. We're very lucky, didn't lose our house. Very, very lucky, because I'd been in a previous business, and the auditor or the audit partner had seen what I was doing and thought, gee, hey, this is a good guy. Didn't know anything about Z-Watch. He rang me up and said, hey, listen, will you come along? We've taken over a company, a Christchurch-based company. We need someone with your skills, and we'll give you $100,000 sign-on bonus. And that really just saved me.
Yeah. So what was that? What was that
business?
business?
A company called AM Satterthwaite. It was owned by a company called Unity Group.
Yeah.
They were property developers, and they bought this trading company. It had a turnover of 60 million, losing 30 million, losing 3 million.
Yeah.
And had 6 divisions in textiles, paper, printing machines, all sorts. And I sold off the various divisions. This was back in 87.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this was the start of really Just Water. In November 87, I went to the board and said, listen, everything's gone now. We're sitting there in 50,000 square feet in Gabador Place. And I'm just there with one PA, and I'm in effect redundant. I've got a couple of ideas. And one of them was to rent fax machines.
Okay.
And it was really following the rank Xerox model for photocopiers. You can have any model you like as long as you rent.
Yep.
And other companies weren't renting because a salesman had to go and get the order, then get credit approval. Mm-hmm. And I really followed the Xerox model with, hey, I don't need credit approval. If it falls over, I put it somewhere else.
Yep.
So people renting don't need a new machine. They look new. And so that's what happened. And so they said, yeah, we'll go ahead with that. And then we started, and the share market crash happened. And in January 88, the managing director came to me and said, hey, listen, we're going to receivership.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to buy your fax business for $1? And off we went. And so then we went. 88 was a really boon, because like the global financial crisis, a lot of decisions for capital had to go a lot further up the line.
Yep.
And for a rental, any branch manager could approve
do it in their OPEX. Yeah.
And then we looked around for another product we could rent, and I'd seen water coolers on American sitcoms. Well, try that.
So is that where it started from? It was just adding something else to the rental suite of products.
Yeah, that's all it was. And we'd and so people, and yes, I bought 6 water coolers. So people at that stage were more into jogging, and just that health thing was starting to kick in.
Yep.
And so anyway, I bought 6 water coolers. They went out the first day. And so that was the start of the water business.
Fantastic. So it's really interesting, isn't it? Because people think that, they see successful business people and they think, oh, well, they've had an easy ride, but it's often lots of ups and downs, isn't it? It's sort of a roller coaster ride. What, apart from losing everything in the Z-Watch thing, what are the other sort of big challenges that you've had in your career as an entrepreneur? Well,
I would say that, like I've always said, if I had my way again, there's no way I'd start my own business.
Oh, really?
Because it is, it takes, we had 7 years, I suppose, and, really skimping and not knowing that close to the line between success and failure is so close for the bank, to come in. You're sitting there right on your limit, and something goes wrong a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're,
you can lose everything.
You lose everything.
Yeah.
And, prior to that, I'd been in a corporate job, earning a good salary, traveling up the front,
regular pay,
car, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And when I wanted to leave, I could leave. And so with your own business, you can't.
Yeah.
You never leave. But anyway, afterwards, people would say, "Oh, you're only saying that. Well, look at you now." But hey, it was that close for 7 years.
Yep. Things have changed for the better now, thank goodness. So we're here to talk about people specifically today. And I saw, your book talks about never hire a person who walks slowly. Where does that come from? What's the rationale behind that?
It really came from a lecture I did at Auckland University. That was or to MBA students, and someone just asked me this question: give me one thing on what you look for in new employees. And that's the first thing that came out of my head. And there was a big laugh. So I thought, well, that's a nice thing to put in the title of a book.
Fantastic.
But it is true. I mean, when we hire people, the receptionist is a really important part in this whole employment thing.
Yep.
Just watching how they come in, how they treat him or her is really important.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not 100% foolproof. But because often I walk slow, you often can be deep in thought. And you may not, you may walk slowly. But in general, people who walk slowly who walk quickly tend to work quickly
as well. Fantastic. Now, I know when Warner was here in the last episode, he talked about the fact that the real reason he was able to kind of let go of the business and spend time with his wife and his family is because he had the right people around him. But that's not always easy to get the right people. And sometimes the people you start the business with end up not being the people who continue on the business. So right people, right seats is always important. I suppose from your point of view, what's been the biggest people challenges you've had?
Well, it is getting the right people on the bus, and you're always moving the people on the bus to get the right people.
Yep.
What's been really interesting over COVID has been, one of the good things about COVID was, or the lockdown was, we had time to think, and business has changed, and one of the things we had to think about, and it was a terrible one to have to do, but the time of the door-to-door salesman is sort of ending.
Yep.
And if you just keep on going, and we keep on going, and we had the same people, and really the water business is fairly mature. We weren't getting a lot of new business, and we were paying these people who are really order clerks.
Yeah.
And that's all we needed. We needed what we call an internal sales team now, who just take the orders and look after any, key customers. They want a water cooler shifted, or they want to new water cooler somewhere, into a tappery or something. As long as we get it there, they don't really want to see a salesman on their door every 5 minutes saying, how are things going and all that sort of stuff. So the horrible thing for us was removing 4, 5 people who'd been there, on average, probably 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
And so they'd all been good friends in effect. And
part of the family.
Yeah. And so suddenly you're saying, hey, time to go. That was tough, but we knew it was the right thing for the future.
Yep.
So it had to be done.
And so when you have to make a tough call like that, because you have to sometimes to survive, right? How would you handle that? Because as you said there, you're potentially part of an extension of the family. They've been there for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this was quite unusual, but we just had to go through the process and say, hey, this is what we're looking at restructuring.
Yep.
They in effect they all took voluntary redundancy immediately and said, no, we'll take the money.
Yeah.
So, but still, it was from their point of view, their thing. Gee, we gave all our time and life to this company, and now look what they do to us.
Yeah.
So,
but you've looked after them, so yeah.
Yeah. So from our side, we'd say, hey, listen, we've looked after you. We're taking you on every year on overseas trips and all sorts. But I can understand how they think.
Yeah, and things change. And as I said, as a business owner, we often have to make those tough calls. Warner talked about the fact that sometimes you can have a rotten apple in the business, and that can have such a massive impact on the whole team, just as a good person can have a positive impact. But have you ever had a person in an organization who's been really detrimental?
Yeah, we take there's something a lot of people don't know, but we say, hey, they're just not worth having there. If we have to pay them out, we feel, well, you just shouldn't. Yep. But you do. We say, hey, listen, it's that get rid of them very, very quickly.
Yep.
So I have a phrase or something that probably the best hint I could probably give you today. Is the best phrase you'll ever use is, hey, you don't seem to be happy. And then wait.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either yes or no.
Yep.
Either they say, well, no, listen, I'm not happy here. Hey, well, let's, if you're not happy, you just shouldn't be here. I mean, and hey, let's come to an arrangement. If they say, yes, I'm happy, well, then we say, well, hey, you're certainly not showing it.
Talk to your face.
And, the thing has to, you're going to have to, the whole, whatever they're doing. And, if they're just an evil person or just a person who talks and just a gossip monger or whatever, we're then able to tell them straight, hey, listen, and that's not making you happy. It's not making anyone else happy.
Yeah.
Generally, we find that either way they go.
Yeah. And you're right, because it has to be a relationship that works for both the employer and the employee, right? And if the employee is unhappy, it's important that they actually go off for their own benefit and find something that they actually genuinely love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a saying that's been right through the company if you're not in business for fun and profit, what the hell are you doing there?
Yeah.
And I say it for the employee too. I say, hey, if you're not in a job that you're learning from and enjoying, then why be here?
Yeah.
So probably someone who's a civil servant, a bureaucrat, possibly wouldn't like it in our business because they want to know fixed rules, etc.
Yep.
And people from our business would hate to work for a government department. That's just different nature of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I was to ask, one of the employees at what's it called now?
Just Life Group.
Just Life Group, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say Just Water, but Just Life Group. Do they understand, are they there for the core purpose of the business? Like what would they say about the company as an employee?
Yeah, I'd like to say that we live by, so our values are the acronym FIRST. So it's fun, integrity, respect, service, and trust.
Nice.
So the fun part is saying, hey, we want to provide you with an environment that you enjoy. But again, that having to make a profit expects you to work while you're here.
Yep.
But we provide nice facilities. You can have there's lots of food. You make your own breakfast here and lunch here.
Yep.
We have a massage person come in.
Ooh.
We do some nice things for people.
Yep.
And then that comes down to respect. So and I always say that if I ever fire anyone, I'll say, hey, listen, that's and I tell them when I hire them, the reason you get fired is because you show lack of respect. So I will respect everyone in the company, and I expect the same respect back. So if you decide to go and sell our water to someone else and take the money, well, that's not showing respect.
Fair enough. Yep. Okay. And then if we look at on the positive side, you must have some stars within the team. What do you think creates a star within an environment?
Yeah, I say that 1 star equals 2 good people. So a star is just you want as many stars as you can get.
Yeah. How do you employ stars? How do you know they're a star before you employ them?
Yeah. You often don't, but you certainly try and get them. We put a lot of that hire slowly and fire fast is probably pretty important.
Yep.
And yeah, we try and get. It's always a big massage of just getting the right people in the right place on the bus, and it never really stops.
Yeah.
And then as you grow, and I think you've said this, as you grow, some people just can't grow at the same rate.
Yeah.
And that's
all the roles change significantly. I mean, we look at this last year as a classic example. I mean, we've had to reimagine business in huge ways, which means that the role that might have been there 6 months ago may not be there now. Yeah. I remember John Spence, when he came over, he talked about, if you got the wrong person on the bus to fire them. Well, you can do that in the US. You can't do that quite so easily over here in New Zealand.
You can't, but you have to. Yeah, we take the hit.
Yep.
So if we have to, we go through the. Are you happy?
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, we say, hey, listen, it's not working between us.
Mm-hmm.
It's and so you are going to have to go.
Yep.
And so we'll have this chat now, and. The worst, and this is what I think a lot of companies don't realize, they're so scared of personal grievances.
Yep.
But the most chances are, as long as you go part the way through the process and show some respect for them, the most it's ever going to cost you is 3 months pay.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we're prepared to pay that 3 months to have them out tomorrow.
Because the damage they do when they're in there is just, you can't even measure that, can you?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So we like to give our listeners sort of 3 tips. Our listeners are generally sort of, established businesses. They're definitely privately owned businesses working with the leadership team. We'd like to give them sort of 3 tips or tools or pointers they can take away with them. What would be the sort of 3 things you'd really like to share for either up and coming entrepreneurs or those who might be struggling a wee bit after the pandemic?
Well, I suppose when we look at a new venture, but it'll be the same for a startup, is we say, hey, can this be $1 million business? If it's not $1 million, we don't want to waste our time with it. So there are some businesses that we have started and listen, it's not going to be, it's not the $1 million business. Let's give this away and throw it to someone else.
Yep.
So I think that's important, just being realistic, not going in because you think, gee, this would be fun.
Yeah.
We'd love to do this. But if you really want to get lifestyle, you just have to get up to $1 million pretty quickly. And depending, unless it's a consulting business or something where everything is profit. I'm big on exercise, just looking healthy and
I see you've got an Oura ring on.
Oura ring, yeah.
Yes.
doing exercise and do it every morning, and you just feel much better for the day.
Yep. So it's a first thing in the morning thing for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Before you start.
Yep. What
time do you get up in the morning?
I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
And I call that 6 to 7. Well, it's normally 5:30 to 6:30 is my golden hour.
Yep.
Come down, feed the dogs, feed the cat, and then I've got my own.
Yeah.
I put a lot of emphasis on this thinking overnight.
Yep.
So I can, my wife will say in a dinner party or something, Tony can have the worst crisis in the world. He tells me that at night, I don't sleep all night. He goes straight to sleep. The next morning, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm relying on my subconscious to tell me that.
Yep.
And that's very much the same thing I wrote in the book about, how to have new ideas is go for a walk, no iPhone, no iPod, no dog, no partner, and go for a walk for an hour and a half, and you'll just find so many things will come into your mind. Yes. And you get exercise as well. So I suppose it's a bit like meditation, but
yeah, I mean, I must admit, I've always struggled with meditation in terms of lying on a mat and being in but I do use it as the quiet time, getting that clarity break to go out there on your own, no distractions. I really find that is my form of meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think mixing with people too that are sort of, let's say, winners. Don't go out of your way to do it, but so as you know, I belong to EO.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're mixing with people who are really wanting to be in business.
Yeah.
So often, otherwise, you're sort of wasting your friends' time. You're not really getting anything from the relationship. And so, I mean, that's fine to be casual, but if you want to be in business, you probably should join some business organization and be talking to people who are also doing it.
Yeah. I think part of the value of EO, and I was a member for 3.5 years, was the forum, is actually having that chance to discuss with your peers openly things that perhaps you can't talk to other people about. And they get it because they've been there, they've done that, they've got the T-shirt, or they're going through it themselves. And I think that's the real value. But I was in baby EO, you're in this sort of, the big EO. What's the big value you get from that organization?
Really just the people and what they're doing. You learn from other people. Like at the moment, I'm doing an EO Harvard course.
Oh yeah.
Or it's next week, and this one's online. And I've done 2 before, and again, each time I realize how good they are, because what happens, it's a total case study, and so they give you 8 or 10 case studies, and quite thick, and they're real live cases, live companies.
Yep.
That generally they're American. And it really makes you relate them to your business, and they make sure you do relate it to your business.
Yep. And
just some of the things that I've even learned, just from looking at these case studies, which we've got to, present next week.
Fantastic. Okay.
So I'm, a lifelong learner, and I think it is. You just need to always keep on learning.
Yeah, I agree completely. Fantastic. Okay, so now if people want to get in contact with you, or they want to get hold of some of your water or your any of your services, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
So I'm Tony F.
Yep.
At justlife.co.nz.
Fantastic.
The main way, or you can go straight onto our website.
Yep.
And which is either Just Life Group or Just Water, or
Yeah.
Univen or Solitude.
Any of the
So any of
names, yeah.
those,
Yeah.
And we have you'll see on them, everyone has a personal guarantee by myself, is with my phone number and my email address on it. And I think I'm the only chief executive of any public company that has his mobile number and email address on the website, saying that I treat every customer, shareholder, employee as though they're a member of my own family. If you think I'm not living up to that, then please call me directly.
That's fantastic. I didn't realize that. And that, so has that ever, I was going to finish there, but I can't now because I've got all these questions. Have you ever had anybody sort of actually take you up on that?
So, no, quite a lot.
Yeah.
People say, hey, my water didn't arrive on Friday. What am I going to do? I get a lot of, texts over the weekend and things.
Yeah.
But to have the chief executive answer that, it's
that's
great.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Fantastic. Well done. A great initiative. Okay. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. It's always good to hear, from the horse's mouth what really goes on in business. And I appreciate you being so open and honest. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks very much, Tony. Thank you.